Hi folks, yes, sorry about this delayed video. Uh, in this video, however, today we're going to be looking at how to do the put, the post, and the delete methods from in our REST services. Now, the previous video I would have gone through the whole concept of the get. Uh, I'm going to introduce you to a tool, the same tool that I introduced you to in class, which is basically DHC, Google DHC. Let me just go into it from scratch. So you go to Google Apps, you click on the Apps icon, then you're going to see DHC, click on that one. And this is a tool that allows us to test our REST services before actually writing a program. Let me repeat. It allows us to test our REST services without actually writing a program. So for example, if we want to test our gets in here, I have a nice get here to be tested. So I just click on get. I know that it's the same URL that we would normally use in the browser. So you just click, and we can see that there's nothing inside the emergency object. So you have first name blank, last name blank. Now let us do a put. Remember, put means, okay, let's do a post. Post means to create. So we want to create an object. So let's do a post. So let us go to post. And well, actually I have it typed in already, so I won't have to type in again. Let me just go to one I have previously done. Let me see. This is just to avoid me from typing it in again. This is laziness. So let me just go to my posts. Okay, good. So I previously type in all of this. Basically, you have to type it in, or this is basically a JSON string. Let me make it nicer. And this JSON string is made up of a token, an application ID, and the information that I wish to update. So this is the information here. Actually, I'm going to copy this on my e-learning so that you will not have to type it in yourself. You will just overwrite. What I have. So that is fine. So that you will not have to make it up. Now if we click on send here, this will actually, it says successful, so we can actually see that it was successful and that it returned a 1. Now what is happening here is that I updated the emergency information, and I put Wayne in the first name, Wayne in the last name, and telephone number. Now if I want to check to see if my update worked, of course I can do a get. And when I do a get and I click on send, we can see that the update indeed worked. Now similarly, we can update. Now to post means to create for the object for the first time. To put means to update. So if we want to update the information that we would have put in, again, let me go to one I typed in before rather than going back. So suppose I wanted to update this information, I can say, rather than typing in Wayne there, I can say Goodrich and Goodrich. So let us send this now. And once we send this across, we can go back to a previous get, and we can send, and we can see that it has been updated to Goodrich. Okay. Similarly, if we want to delete everything, we can just go to as I said, let me go into a previously done one. So let me go into one I did before, this one here. So if we want to delete, now notice that for the delete, I just used the full URL. I said token, application ID, and I want to delete. And for the purposes of a delete just means to make everything blank in this particular instance. So if I go back to a get, I should see that everything is blank. Alright, let us explain what is going on in the background now. So let us go into the REST controller. So now this is not the same file that I would have given you before. Notice I had to modify. I had made a couple of mistakes before. This is an updated one. I'm going to upload this one as well. Now notice that for emergency data or put, we are actually using put in place of get. Before we were using get token, get application ID, but this time around we're using put. And the reason why this is so is because this is getting the information not from the URL, but this is getting the information from the header, from the put header that we would have written to the HTTP header. So we have to use the put here. And then we're extracting out the token, we're extracting out the application ID, and we're also extracting out the JSON object here. This is the JSON object that we're extracting from the JSON string that we would have keyed in our put. So this is this same JSON string here that we are extracting out. So this is the info field that we are extracting out. Okay, so once we extract it out, we're going to test to see if the token is good, if the application ID is good, if the info is good. And once it's good, we're going to go ahead and get our application web service pointer. This is a pointer to the web services, to the SOAP services directory. And then we're going to call the SOAP service called update applicant emergency data, and then we're going to pass in the token, pass in the application ID, and pass in the info, and then that's going to do its job and return a value. And this value is going to be 0 or 1. If it is 1, it means that it was successful. If it was 0, it means that it was unsuccessful. Now notice that the post has exactly the same code, and the reason for this is that when we look at the services, we only have two services. We have a service to update information, and we have a service to delete information. So therefore, in this case, our update is the same thing as our post. And the reason is that an application is only created once. So then there's only one next to kin information being created. So therefore, all that we can do is update it or delete it. So, but I told you that you have to simulate 4 verbs: get, post, put, and delete. And this is why I just simulated them. So in this case, the post is the same thing as the put, and the delete, of course, what I do here is that notice that I use the get. I use the get because the token is inside the URL as well as the application ID, so I just get it. And then I created a JSON object called emergency data, and I set everything to blank. And then I just updated. I use the same update. I use the same update function to set everything to blank. And once I set everything to blank, that's equivalent to deleting the data. Alright, this is the end of this video. I'm going to give you a supplementary video later. Bye.